All right, so today we finally got our new character in Deadlock. Silver is in. She won the latest vote, and she's got some pretty cool, unique abilities. So I kind of wanted to just go through her abilities and talk through them and give you my opinion on what I think of her so far. So first off, her gun, very low bullet count, as you'll see. She has 2 stamina as well, as you'll notice, so very low stamina as well. Her gun also fires super slowly, if you notice. Like, I'm just holding it down here, and it fires super slowly, so I think that's going to be interesting. Also, the low bullet count plus the low stamina. Definitely kinetic dash is going to be pretty good on her right now, I feel like, because you just get the extra stamina. You just double your ammo, more than double your ammo right away, so that's going to be pretty cool, I think. And then as you'll notice, as you're doing damage, something crazy happens. She transforms, and that is her ultimate. So if you do enough damage, you're just going to automatically transform. There is a short period where you can actually trigger it, but most of the time it's just going to be automatic. And you'll see, we'll start off with the ultimate actually, since it already happened. So like on Curse, as you see, the passive is dealing damage, generates bloodlust, and then basically once you deal enough damage, you'll automatically transform. And the transform has a couple of things. So you get increased max health, move speed, stacking fire rate on enemy heroes, and replacing your abilities and weapon. Quite a lot of health, as you'll see. 350 base health, fire rate, which scales off spirit damage, and then 3 move speed, so pretty significant. And then the resist down below are pretty significant too, 20 for both spirit and bullet. And then just with one upgrade, that goes to 35 for each of those as well. The final upgrade, on hero kill, it'll refresh the duration completely. So as long as you keep killing people, you can stay in that transformed state for however long you want, as long as you keep killing people. All right, so now we'll go through the abilities. Now, you'll notice on the abilities, it's a bit weird. There's 2 abilities per each one, because when you transform, you gain these small abilities down here. So you have different abilities when you're transformed, which is pretty cool. So we'll go through the first one, Slam Fire. Instantly reload your gun and gain bonus fire rate, and deal bonus weapon damage based on target's health for a limited number of shots. So this one is basically as it sounds. You just quickly fire, can deal damage in a short amount of time. And as you'll see, even though nothing's upgraded, I don't have any items really. I have kinetic dash, but that's not much. You can get transformed pretty quick. You don't have to do that much damage to get transformed. So I think that's going to be pretty interesting, especially when you're close range like that. Next is boot kick, just dealing some melee damage and pushing them away. And then shooting the marked target deals spirit damage. So you mark them, and then you can deal spirit damage. So we'll try that. All right, so that's interesting that it scales off melee. 0.9 scaling on that. And then Entangled Bolo, which I think is going to be pretty cool. So this not only deals spirit damage if you hit it, and it scales with spirit, but it also on hit, negative 20% move speed. And then you also prevent movement abilities, stamina, or jumping. So really good at shutting down movement heroes like Mina. So yeah, we'll go ahead and use that. And then also you'll notice Bola on the final upgrade ricochets to 2 targets as well. So if there's another target here, it'll ricochet to them as well, up to 2 targets. And we didn't talk about the other upgrades for these, but I think those are the more interesting upgrades. Yeah, those are her base abilities. Now, obviously when you transform, so we'll go ahead and transform. You have these other abilities. So you have your 1, your 2, and your 3. So we'll go ahead and go through which each one of them do. They kind of all look like melee attacks, honestly. The 3 is a bit further away. You can hit it from a bit further away, but we'll go through them real quick to see what they do. There we go. Go for the throat. Deals melee damage to all heroes in front of you, so it can hit multiple enemies. And then you receive a heal for a portion of the damage dealt. Damage scales with melee damage, and then it does lifesteal as well, and you can upgrade it to get more lifesteal, which is pretty cool. The 2 ability, Mauling Leap, leap forward, also doing melee damage, and they suffer reduced bullet resist and take spirit damage over time. This one scales really nice with melee damage, so 1.9, and then also a bit of spirit damage as well, which they take. Pretty low spirit scaling though. And on that one, upgrades for cooldown and bullet resist, the more you upgrade it. Finally, tail whack. Smash enemies around, dealing spirit damage. They suffer disarm and a brief slow as well. And this one, you can actually upgrade it to negative 40% move speed, and then 1 second on the disarm duration. So pretty interesting stuff overall. Another thing to note is all these upgrades that you do. So if you upgrade, this ability that's on my 1 key right now, it upgrades not only slam fire, but also go for the throat. So both of those abilities are going to be upgraded at the same time. So it's pretty different from other characters we've seen, but I think it's going to be pretty interesting for sure. Now, just some initial thoughts on her. I think you're going to be wanting to proc this ult quite often if you can, obviously, because there's no really downside to it. It has a pretty low cooldown. So just building that damage up and then trying to proc that. It's going to be interesting to try and time that because you want to make sure you're proccing at the right times. But I guess we'll see how that plays out in the game. As for builds, I think it's going to be pretty interesting. The default build, I think, gives a good insight into the kind of stuff you can be building for. But melee is going to be interesting because she does have quite a few abilities that do melee damage, especially 2 of her abilities in her ult form. And then gun damage is interesting too. So one thing we'll note is once we're transformed, you see this is her normal gun. And then we'll transform. We can transform a bit early there. This is her gun in transform form. So she doesn't have a gun. It's just a melee. And as she attacks, she speeds up her attack. So you'll notice it get faster and faster. Until eventually it's actually doing quite a lot of damage with no items. So yeah, going back to the builds, I think melee is going to be interesting as well since she has so many abilities for melee, like I mentioned before. And then gun, obviously, because you're still doing gun damage. You're going to be doing quite a lot, especially since you can get in close with your dash once you're transformed. But yeah, it's obviously too early to tell what the meta build is going to end up being, but I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see them as well. Also, one weird thing I noticed is her parry is very weird right now. I think it's bugged, but Valve, please fix. This looks really weird. All our other animations look pretty good though. Overall, a very interesting character and can't wait to see how she'll play out in actual games. So yeah, let me know what you guys think and I'll catch you in the next one with another hero probably. So see you guys next time. Peace.